March 17, 1943, Berlin. The heavy folder hit Admiral Wilhelm Canaris's desk so hard it sent droplets of coffee splashing across classified papers, documents that, if discovered by the Gestapo, could end his life instantly. Canaris stared at the report in disbelief. It couldn't be real. American intelligence, he assumed, must have compromised Abwehr agents and was now feeding Germany an elaborate lie. Yet the reports kept coming, and they all said the same impossible thing. Through the windows of Abwehr headquarters, he could see the Landwehr Canal, where Rosa Luxemburg's body had been dumped decades earlier. But his thoughts were fixed on something far more immediate. Evidence that shook not just Nazi propaganda, but the mathematical basis on which Germany believed it could win the war. According to intelligence from agents in Mexico City, the Ford Motor Company's vast Willow Run plant was producing one B-24 Liberator bomber every hour. The B-24 was a machine of staggering complexity, 1.5 million individual parts, more than 450,000 rivets, and 30,000 components. Yet, if the reports were correct, this colossal aircraft was rolling off an American assembly line faster than Germany could manufacture a simple military Volkswagen. Major Friedrich Wilhelm Heinz told his superior he had triple-checked the numbers. They held firm. What neither man realized was that this moment marked the beginning of one of history's greatest intelligence failures: Nazi Germany's inability to believe, understand, or communicate the sheer scale of American industrial capacity. The collapse had its roots 2 years earlier. In 1941, Luftwaffe General Karl Köhler presented Hermann Göring with reports from Friedrich von Boeticker, the German military attaché in Washington, claiming that American aircraft plants would soon produce nearly 2,000 aircraft per month. Göring laughed, insisting Americans were only capable of building refrigerators and razor blades. He told Hitler that democracy made the United States weak, that its diverse population made it inefficient, and that Jews corrupted its industry. These racist assumptions blinded the Nazi leadership to reality. But by early 1943, German intelligence networks throughout the Americas, Mexican industrialists, Spanish diplomats, Swedish engineers, businessmen traveling to Detroit, were all reporting the same astonishing thing. Ford's Willow Run plant alone was outproducing the entire German aircraft industry. Oberstleutnant Nicholas Ritter, head of the Abwehr's Air Intelligence Section, spent weeks reviewing the incoming data. Unlike many of his colleagues, Ritter understood America well. He had lived in New York throughout the 1920s and had watched skyscrapers rise at impossible speed. His conclusion to Canaris was blunt. If the reports were true, Germany had already lost the war. From this point forward, it was only a matter of arithmetic. Much of the most revealing intelligence came from Mexico City. Georg Nikolaus, running Germany's primary network there, had gathered information from American businessmen who frequently traveled to Michigan. At a February 1943 reception, an American oil executive named Harold Morrison casually described his recent tour of Willow Run. German agent Wolfgang Blau memorized every word. Morrison spoke of a mile-long assembly line, a building so enormous that clouds occasionally formed inside it, and 42,000 workers, many of them women and African Americans, building B-24s with astonishing precision. He explained how Ford had broken aircraft construction into 60,000 small tasks performed repetitively, allowing workers with no prior experience to become highly efficient within days. Spain also became an unexpected conduit for critical information. Colonel José Ungria, the Spanish military attaché in Washington, often mingled with American industrial leaders. At one diplomatic reception, he spoke with Charles Sorensen, Ford's master architect of the Willow Run assembly line.
Sorensen openly explained how Ford had revolutionized aircraft production by applying automotive assembly principles, moving the aircraft past the workers rather than the reverse. He talked about training thousands of new workers each week, the integration of women and minorities into highly skilled roles, and the massive scale of machine tooling needed to achieve the planned output.
Even intelligence from Japan confirmed these reports. A diplomatic message from Admiral Toshikazu Omi, intercepted by the Germans, stated bluntly that this one American factory produced more aircraft monthly than the entire Japanese aviation industry. By April 1943, the Abwehr had intelligence from 17 independent sources confirming the production rate. Yet the Nazi leadership refused to believe it. The most dramatic confrontation occurred on Hitler's 54th birthday, April 20th, 1943, when Canaris personally presented the intelligence to Göring at his lavish estate, Carenhall. Canaris spread photographs, shipping manifests, and reports across the table. Göring dismissed them all as propaganda, insisting the assembly line photos were staged with wooden models and that America could not possibly manufacture complex warplanes like sausages. Even when shown freight records revealing that Willow Run consumed more aluminum each month than Germany produced in total, Göring mocked the idea. A week later, Canaris brought the same intelligence to Hitler himself, who declared the figures impossible. Hitler believed Americans were only skilled at producing consumer goods, not precision machines. He was convinced that Germany's years of preparation could not be matched by American industry in mere months. In secret, Canaris had obtained film footage of Willow Run from American contacts in Switzerland. When he and his deputy Hans Oster viewed it privately, they saw undeniable proof: a mile-long, fully functioning assembly line pushing out bombers at a breathtaking pace. Workers of every background performing tasks with machine-like fluidity. A visible clock proved the rate. "My God," Oster whispered. Realizing that showing the film would doom him, Canaris burned it in his office. Even photographic reconnaissance failed to sway the Nazi leadership. Spanish diplomatically sourced aerial photos clearly showed long parking lots filled with thousands of cars, dozens of completed bombers awaiting delivery, and materials flowing in via rail. German photo interpreters confirmed the intelligence as accurate, yet Göring still refused to believe it, claiming the images were manipulated. Albert Speer, Hitler's armaments minister, was one of the few who recognized the truth. His private diary noted that if Willow Run's output was real, even at half the reported rate, Germany faced annihilation. But he could not risk publicly contradicting Hitler or Göring. By early 1944, the consequences of disbelief became unavoidable. During Big Week in February, more than 1,000 American bombers attacked German aircraft factories, delivering more tonnage in 6 days than the Luftwaffe had dropped on Britain during the entire Blitz. When D-Day arrived in June, the Allies deployed over 11,000 aircraft. The Luftwaffe could muster only a few hundred in response. Willow Run reached its true peak